Not to make anyone mad, but I didn't care about Theo because I saw him as more of a device to explore Eloise's privilege. I also do think that he was a good way to look into Eloise's unconscious selfishness. And I'm not saying that she was a completely selfish character or malicious or that she actively wants to be all about herself. I mean that as a result of her privilege and her being so sheltered, she can't really help but have an unconscious selfishness to her. The good thing with Eloise is that I don't think she wants to be selfish. I don't think she likes being accused of that. But she'd never really been accused of it before until Theo and Penelope. And before people start going in the comments saying that Eloise is evil and a horrible person and she doesn't care about anyone, that is not true. You can be slightly selfish and still be a good person and still care about people. I think that Theo was very sweet and incredibly caring and incredibly kind, and it was a really cute crush, but I don't think it would have gone more than that. Because as much as they might have liked to think so, Theo never would have felt comfortable in Eloise's lifestyle, and Eloise never would have felt comfortable in Theo's lifestyle. Also, in the society that Bridgerton is portraying, Eloise would have to give up a lot more than if the genders were reversed, which is why I do think that Benedict's book was the one that portrayed rags to riches and had Sophie be the poor person marrying up. In this case, Eloise would be marrying down because that is what the woman would do. And that's not, at the moment, the nature of the world that Bridgerton has created and portrayed. For now, it could change. We could develop and actually see more and more into the other classes. And just character-wise, I don't really see Eloise and Theo as a fit. They felt very much more like the first crush and the first infatuation and nothing more. But I do think it was important for Eloise to learn that she can like someone romantically. But most importantly, I think it was good for her to learn how she can be blind to her own privilege and how that can hurt someone. And more than that, the consequences for her are not the same as the consequences for someone else. And that lesson I do think she really needs to understand between her and Penelope, because Eloise still sees her and Penelope as being on even playing fields when they're not. And as for Philip, while I don't know what they're going to do with Eloise's story, and I'm open to anything the show really has to create, because I think they do the show so beautifully and they tell these stories so beautifully, I do think if they do the story, they will make Philip's character a little less harsh, as they have with all of the men compared to the books and the show. They will make him a little less harsh and they'll make him a little bit more palatable for a wider audience. But I think their story is important because it's harsh and because it's difficult and because it shows that you can mess up and make so many mistakes in your life. But if you're willing to learn and to try and to actually put in the effort to doing better, it can get better. You can find love and you can find the life that you always wanted but never thought you could get, as long as you are willing to put in the effort. Let me know what you guys think of Theo and Eloise. Personally, if they are going to change Eloise's story, I am much more supportive of Eloise and Cressida than I am of Eloise and Theo, but that's just me.